Hello and welcome to another episode of Tribunal of the Grid, where we talk about all things Power Rangers, including the actors that play them. My name is Brandon.
I am Lena.
I'm Will.
And today we have a fabulous episode planned out for you today. We are going to be going over a little bit of news. A little bit of news here and there. Not much has happened, but it's enough. I think. Don't you agree, guys? It's enough.
Mm-hmm.
Enough to talk about something like that. Yeah.
It's enough for us to kill 4 hours.
Hopefully, it's not going to be 4 hours. I hope it is not going to be 4 hours. But yes, we will be reviewing seasons 1, 2, and 3 of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Yes, we will be reviewing those, kind of giving our opinions, and ranking them. And I can imagine how our ranking is going to be since we all have a large array of opinions. As we've noticed with certain people who like Turbo a lot more than the other movies. Instead of it being just 3 of us today, we do actually have an extra member today, an extra co-host. He goes by the name of Luis. Hey, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm breaking stuff. Okay. Hi.
Please don't break anything. Don't break anything. I mean, we know you're excited, but geez, don't break anything. So, Luis, tell us. Do you have like any podcasts or anything like that?
No, I'm a free agent right now. I'm not working on. Well, I'm working on something, but it's like not worth mentioning. It's like in the very beginning stages of a kid's YouTube channel.
Ooh.
Okay.
Other than that, I'm kind of taking a break from things because of the world kind of ended. So.
Yeah. That's understandable. That's understandable. So, what's your connection to the Power Rangers? Will was giving us a little lowdown about you doing YouTube videos about the show and stuff like that. Is that right?
Have I? I don't think so. I may have in the past. I don't know. I feel like I've done a lot of little things Power Ranger related, but nothing to like really mention. I mean, I think I've just kind of been a fan. Probably, I would say on and off in my adult years. I'm I'm in my 30s now, so like I kind of skipped a few years, but I've gone back and like rewatched the past seasons. So I'm like I'm a little more up to date. I'm not a huge fan of the latest Bandai, but or the latest Saban era, I'll say.
Yeah, I don't really think anybody is.
No.
I don't really think anybody is really too much caring for Neo Saban like that. But yeah. Well, all right. Well, it is definitely a pleasure to have you here. Where can the people find you, just in case they want to check you out or follow you on the social platforms?
I guess I should have remembered this. I changed all my names. You can find me at Adorno on Instagram or Twitter. I think I changed that too. Adorno.l. Yeah, like I'm like rebranding my whole life right now.
Who you trying to hide from?
Hey, man. All right? Now, rebranding. Come on.
Rebranding or hiding?
Yeah, it was a little bit of that.
A little bit of both. Well, like I said, it's a pleasure to have you here, and thank you for joining us today.
Yes,
alrighty.
I get to talk about Power Rangers to everyone now. Not just Will.
But this is true. All right. Well, as of today, the news that we have. So let's just kind of just break out the news real fast before we get to the meat and taters
Mm-hmm.
of the episode. Now we do have to say it is with heavy hearts that we report that Bruce Alpress, who is best known for his role in Power Rangers Jungle Fury as Master Fant, has passed. So he apparently on April the 23rd of this year, 2020, he had passed away. The news just actually came out. We just actually broke the news today, April 25th, the day of this recording. We also posted it on our Instagram page. So in remembrance of Master Fant, pour one out. Like it's quite sad. I mean, he did live a pretty long life. He was 89 years of age when he passed. So um, just sending love and light to the family and to the Ranger family in general. It's always kind of tough when people pass away, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy, and it definitely does not make it any easier that it's during one of the most craziest time of our entire lives. Hopefully,
Right,
hopefully this is the only time of our entire life.
right,
Yeah.
right. I mean, it's yeah, it's like Louis said, it's almost kind of like the world is ending
Mm.
in a sense. So yeah, it is kind of a really weird time
Mm-hmm.
for
This is our
us.
RPM.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah,
God, just say that.
That's dark. That's very dark.
yeah, yeah. It really is our RPM right now. It's like um, it's like viruses are just ending everything.
Mm. Yeah. I mean, the virus can only end it if we allow it, right? But
Other people are allowing it
I,
to.
I was just about to say, and people are allowing it to. So I don't feel bad for you if you catch it, though. If you're one of those people, I'm just
I mean,
gonna be honest.
yeah, like it's stay your behind inside.
Mm.
Shoot, no, we ain't gonna tell you no more. Stay inside.
Stay inside, social distant, eat your veggies.
Eat your veggies. Build your immune system and stay your butt inside.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. That is our PSA. Brought to you by Power Rangers, Hasbro and Company. Uh, but on a lighter note, um, we now just to let everybody know the auditions for Power Rangers season 28 is still going.
Woohoo!
They are still going. So if you are an actor and you want to audition for the show, please proceed through the proper channels. Do it the right way. We are not affiliated with the casting process in any way, shape, or form. So if you are interested in auditioning for the show, follow the proper channels and audition. Right now, the casting sides for the duo, let me see here. That comedy duo's name is Gene and Zorb. So if you want to audition for those characters, you may very well do so. But let's talk. Let's sit down and let's have a tea session about these two characters. I have a question for y'all. How do y'all feel about the duo thing coming back in this next upcoming season? Are you excited for it? Are you just like up to here with it?
No,
Do you not
no,
care? Like, let me know what you
I'm
think.
not
What you think?
excited about this at all.
No, over it.
I didn't read the sides just because seeing that they're doing another comedy duo, just like really, we really need this again. And I just don't understand why they keep doing the same things over and over again. And most of the time they're not funny. We haven't really had a funny duo in some time.
Since Broken Skull.
So you, I won't say since then. Like I thought Devin and Cassidy were funny when
Oh yeah,
I
that's
like
Yeah,
Barry and Capri.
right. I forgot
I
about
thought Barry and
them.
Capri was funny too.
Yeah, I
I
forgot
like them.
about them. You know what? Yeah, I like them too. But like, I think they were because they're more settled. They weren't as like what's that
Over the
term
top.
like you like to use?
Three Stooges.
Hmm. Yeah, they weren't
Yeah,
as
Two Stooges.
yes,
Ugh.
they weren't
Two
as
Stooges.
silly.
It's just like they go so overboard. It's not just being funny. Like they really go all out with like the slapstick type stuff, and it's like I don't know if that works today.
Right, right.
Luis, what do
So
you
Well,
I'm
think?
gonna see it.
well, Luis, what do you think? What do you think?
Are do they hire real actors now? Like I'm seriously asking. Like, do they have SAG cards?
As of right now, no.
They're
So
they're they're
they still don't do that.
That
they're
is
technically
rude.
actors.
They're already hiring
They
real
don't.
actors.
They're
Sorry.
still not. They have like the season has people that are actually able to show some talent. We found out that unfortunately, because of certain direction, they kind of tell the actors to not act like they're on a TV show. And
Mm-hmm.
some people are so charismatic that they're able to still show something,
Mm-hmm.
but it is not a it's not a SAG show, so a union show.
They told them not to act.
Mm.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I
So
guess
they
like
basically kind of age them down
Mm-hmm.
in a sense. So it's like, you kind of act, like so you're basically they're saying the direction of the show is like for kindergarten age, like, 5, 6 years old. So basically age yourself down to appeal to a 5, 6 year old, in
See,
other terms.
this is where I have a problem with Power Rangers now, because you don't have to dumb it down to appeal to children. Like, there's so many great kid shows that appeal to everybody. It's like they aren't understanding that. And it hasn't been working for decades, but they keep doing this. I don't understand.
I mean, we've kind of gotten to a point where I mean, I personally feel. I mean, obviously, I'm not working in the ratings system, so I really can't say if it worked or not. But I feel like some of the better seasons were honestly after Mighty Morphin, in a sense,
Mm.
when they actually started aging up the show, with its audience. I feel like they were getting better as far
Mm-hmm.
as like dialogue, story, actually creating story, actually creating real characters.
Mm-hmm.
Like it actually started to feel like a real show. Like I could go back and watch Lost Galaxy
Yeah.
anytime
Mm-hmm.
and be
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, cool. I can go back and watch Lightspeed Rescue at
Yeah.
any time. I can go back and watch Time Force at any time. But
RPM.
it's like RPM, yeah, RPM,
Even
Dino
Ninja.
Thunder.
Yeah. Ninja
Um,
Storm.
it's like get with the program because like we've talked about this a million times. Like there is no reason why just because it's appealing to children that it can't be of good quality or at least decent quality. I guess
that's the
they
thing.
estimate children and their intelligence despite
Right,
knowing.
right.
I don't know. I'm not excited. I think I would be fine if they were doing the same duel as like, kind of like what we mentioned, like from Ninja Storm or even who I thought was really fun too? Dylan and Ziggy from RPM. I thought they were a fun duel. They were cute. See, I would be
That was
okay,
different. They were Rangers that was
but that's
fun.
what I mean. I would have been fine if they did something like that, where it was like they combine,
Yeah.
the rules like that, and to have that one on. You know what? Who doesn't want like a silly guy in the group, or a silly person in the group? There's always got to be that one
Right.
person. And so why not give it to someone like that versus where they have the team and then they're like, well, we're gonna add 2 more people to lighten the load. But why?
Right. Right.
And that can take away from the story because, as we've seen, a lot of times these deals have nothing to do with the main story or the cast.
Mm-hmm.
Main
So yeah, so that's how I feel about that. I've seen it. I wasn't too excited. I wish I wish they would just reduce those rules altogether and just give it to one of the Rangers or both of the Rangers. Because I think that would be
Agreed.
kind of a fun combination to see too.
Yeah, like my thing is I don't mind duos per se. Um, just if they do it right. But of course, as we've already seen, they don't know how to.
Mm.
So it's more so like I guess it's for me. It's like I'm just tired of waiting for that shoe to drop.
Mm-hmm.
Is it? I'm just tired of waiting because it's like you've proven. It's almost kind of like the show has proven that they can't do comedy well. It's like they think that telling almost kind of like heightened '90s jokes
Hmm.
is going to appeal
Oh, they
to
keep
the
wanting to go back.
audiences, and it's like this stuff is dated. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
extremely dated.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just not working. So I
Mm-mm.
mean, hopefully, I'm not holding my breath on it, but
Mm-mm.
hopefully, maybe this Gene and Zorb might, be able to uh might be able to do something. Might be able to, make us laugh and, you know, make actual kids laugh.
Well, even their names, I'm actually kind of surprised at their names. They're quite interesting.
So one thing that I did notice that was very interesting though is the fact that there's one human and apparently there's one alien. Zorb is the
Oh,
alien.
oh, that
Is
explains the
from what
name.
I'm getting. He's an alien.
Mm.
So if that's the case, this is actually going to be very interesting
That
from my
is
understanding.
that is going to be interesting, huh?
Because if
Oh,
Zorb is an alien, then for one, that will mean that now there's two ways this can go. There's two ways this can go. Depending on what kind of alien they make Zorb, they are going to really amp up the cartoony stuff, which I am not excited for.
Maybe he'll become that
Um,
dark alien that we were talking about from last episode.
yeah, like I am not happy for that at all, like at all. However, if if they do it the right way, I think it'll actually be kind of funny, to be honest. And plus, I don't know if this show is actually going to be leading into like a different type of Earth or telling a different kind of story because somehow it I feel like they have to introduce aliens some way at this point. Like they have to introduce aliens living with humans if they're going to keep it in the same timeline as keeping the same timeline as the original universe because we're literally approaching the years of SPD in real life.
Yeah. What year was SPD?
I want to say, wasn't it 2025?
yeah,
Shit.
5
We're
years.
we're gonna be
5
like
years old.
SPD year. Holy crap.
Yeah. So I mean, it's
Oh.
like it would kind of make sense. They need to start introducing some aliens living on Earth at some point. So I think
Yeah.
that'd be kind of cool.
That would be cool.
If they're keeping it in context with that, um,
And SPD did a
that's
good job with their aliens too. I really like them.
oh yeah, oh yeah,
Such a good
like
job.
that was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I'm trying not to hold my breath, but at the same time, I'm like, I kind of feel like this is gonna suck. But maybe Hasbro might, they might wow us since this is their first real season.
Mm-hmm, that's true.
So they might amp it up. They might actually do something funny. Might. So we'll see.
That should be
Moving
exciting.
right along. We're going to Ranger Things.
Right. So that shall be me. So there's a few things, not too many. We're gonna start off with the most exciting news. The top two most exciting news for me would be Amy Jo Johnson actually directed a movie that was actually featured at TIFF, which is a Toronto film festival that actually happened last year. and she got a lot of praise for it, and she was a director for it. She didn't act in it or anything like that, but she got Felicity Hotherman?
Huffman?
Huffman.
Okay. Which, as you know, as one of the leads, and it's called Tammy's Always Dying. And she's launching it May 5th, I do believe. So she's been doing heavily promotions on that. She's constantly doing stage concerts for that as well too. And what's exciting is that obviously it's going to go straight to digital as soon as it gets launched. So I'm excited to watch it. She's also doing contests. So she's gonna pick 50 lucky winners to join the virtual premiere of her upcoming film by submitting a photo to Instagram of what you would wear to the premiere, and hashtag it with Tammy's Always Dying. Hashtag premiere from here. And then obviously she'll pick 50 most creative entries, and then they will get an entry to watch the premiere on May 1st. And the contest ends April 28th, so there's not a lot of time left. And I'm not going to lie, some of the stuff that people have already submitted has been quite interesting. It's been quite funny. Someone actually dressed up as the Pink Ranger with the pillow. And I thought that was interesting because I was like, oh. Because, see, at first I thought it was like a serious thing, like where people literally have to dress up proper to do this. But I guess I was wrong. And it looks like she's just having fun with it, which is great because, hello, you're in the living room. Like, who are you dressing up for, right? But, yeah, so she's doing that. So that's what's up with Amy Jo Johnson. So I'm really excited because, like, if you've been following her career over the years, she's a really good director. And I really enjoyed all the films that she has written and directed herself. I'm not sure if she written this one, but I obviously know that she directed this one. And so I'm really excited to see what this film is going to be all about. And it's a really big deal to get Future at TIFF too. It's one of the biggest festivals that happens once a year in Toronto. And like Hollywood celebrities, big production companies, everyone comes here. And like our entire downtown core is like shut down, and there's crazy events that pops up, and it's kind of cool because like you get to go to different vendors, and different vendors will have either meet and greets, or they'll have like questions panels for the stars that come and all that stuff. I think one year we had the entire cast of Vikings came. That was really cool. It was a big deal. It shut down like several streets for days. But anyways, so yes, definitely something to look forward to that because that's a big deal to be featured on TIFF. So Amy's working on that. For those of you who remembered, I believe he played Mac, the Red Operation Overdrive Ranger. He's got a short film that he finally released that he was doing. It's called The Gray Area, and it's super short. It's actually in his Instagram. There's a link to it, so if you want to check it out, do it. It looks really interesting. I checked out a few minutes of it. Then I had to get back to work, so I didn't get a chance to finish it, but it looks really good. So definitely go ahead and do that. Another really exciting project that I'm really looking forward to is called Rise of the Hood, and it features William Shewfelt as Nightwing and Jason Font as Batman. Like, what do y'all think of this? Like, I'm freaking out. Like, what?
Yeah, that came out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting that. I'm a huge Batman fan, so Batman and Power Rangers together, basically.
Right? Like, that's exciting. Like, I'm all about DC, Marvels, regardless, whatever. I know obviously people have different opinions, but I'm like, whatever. Come at me with a good show and I'll watch it, you know? And so it's really cool to see that, because I'm currently watching Titans right now, and so it's kind of really cool to see DC world colliding with obviously our world, and it doesn't happen very often. So that's exciting. I'm really looking forward to that. We don't know the release date or anything like that, but if all of this goes away soon, they can obviously start filming sooner and get this out for us in 2021. Right? If not, we're going to have to wait and see. But the third exciting project that I'm really excited for is called Bloodline of the Grid and the Space Rangers Saga. The next chapter of Space Rangers Saga, which is coming soon by Nerdbot Studios, which includes Christopher Khayman Lee, the Red Space Ranger who plays Andros, is reprising his role. We don't know much further than We don't know much further than that. But here's synopsis. It's been many years since the destruction of Spectre and the alliance of evil by the legacy space rangers. Although there is a functional stability, wow, I can't speak properly now, amongst the space colonies under the watchful eye of the United System colonists. Wow, this is a really long synopsis. So I'm not going to continue reading this because this is way too long for this. But definitely check our Instagram page for it. It's really long. But that's exciting. I'm excited to see Christopher reprising his role. I wonder if he's going to bring back the hair because we know how much he hates the hair. Hates the hair. Definitely check our interview with him for that. Self-promote right there. But yes, then you'll find out how much and why he hates his hair. So that's really exciting. So I'm looking forward to that. And I'm sure many of you are. Another thing that is coming up is, does anyone watch Penny Dreadful? Nope. Okay. So
No.
Penny Dreadful finally ended, and they're actually doing a spin-off, and they're doing a spin-off of it, and it's called Penny Dreadful. Let me double check this. Penny Dreadful City of Angels. So I'm not sure what obviously the new season entails. I actually haven't even watched the first season or the first series itself, but I heard really good things. I just never got around to doing it. But City of Angel will feature
Brennan Mejia.
There you go. So he'll be in it. I don't know much about his role and what he's doing, and obviously like how much further in it, or is he just doing stunts or what's happening? But he's definitely in it, so that's exciting. So maybe he's just stunts. That'd be really cool just to watch, because we got to give props to our stunt guys too. So that's exciting. So he's in it, and that's coming out. That should be coming out soon. So that's, and then lastly from me, for those of you who's been following Anna Hutchison, she's been busy releasing all the films that she's involved in, like left, right, and center. And the newest one she released, that she announced to us is called Robert the Bruce. Not sure what it is about, but it's now available everywhere. I guess something for us to look into since we're all in, isolation. Mm-hmm. So we can definitely check that out. Once I find out more about it, we'll definitely put a post on our social media for that. And another film that she announced that she was in earlier this week is called Secrets at the Lake. It sounds like a murder situation. Probably, the typical situation since it's got Lifetime TV involved. So
yeah, it sounds like someone's gonna die.
Yeah, so if you want to put yourself through that, definitely do it. I'm not really a Lifetime kind of girl because, it's Lifetime TV. But this last one is just totally for the funs of it. But Hillary, who played Diva Talks, has decided to create a secret account on her mom and recreate all the craziness that her mom talks about. I think it's hilarious. So I'm encouraging y'all to follow it because I think it'll be a great laugh for isolation that we're all in right now. And just overall, like, Hillary's hilarious, so why not, Like, who doesn't want to see a recreation of their perspective of their mother? Especially when it's Hillary doing it. Like, come on now.
Like, I watched that thing probably like a good 5 times, like back to back. It was just so funny. I'm like, oh my gosh, her mom. Low-key, like, I would be so heartbroken if that was my mom treating me like that, like low-key. But it's funny. It's
right.
like, like it's kind of sad, but it's funny at the same time. Like,
right.
I don't know. Like, I loved it.
Right. So yeah. So that's just like, like a obviously not a project or anything like that, but we all need a laugh. So I encourage you guys to do that. We all need a laugh, especially right now. And yes, so there's that. So that's it from me. If I remember anything else, I'll include it at the end of our episode. So continue listening to us.
Alrighty, and on to the main event. All right, so now, of course, all of us are of age. We all were young enough to remember Mighty Morphin and how it played in our young minds and how it influenced us and all the feels and all like the oh my goodness, when all that stuff came out. That's young Brandon. um,
Oh.
so tell me, um, how do y'all like when it comes to the 3 seasons? Because like I know, like for me, when I'm talking with different people and discussing MMPR, many people always go for like season one. Like many people always go, season one is the best. Season one is the best. Season one is the best because it has Jason, Zach, and Trini, and it has all the original six, and it is the best thing since sliced bread. And I stopped watching it afterwards because either I just grew out of it or because those three left. Uh,
Bill.
and occasionally I jump on and start talking about other seasons that I have not seen because I don't want to watch it, but still I always remember the originals because I am being a troll. Partially.
That's
Right,
so
yeah.
So
funny.
you okay.
Whoop, we just called you out.
So, please, like tell me what you think, tell me what you feel. What do you think about the seasons of Mighty Morphin?
I'll go. For me, it's a little bit hard because for me, I think about what was my favorite, what I enjoyed, but then I also think about quality wise what was better.
Okay, was this young Will or is this Will now?
It's Will now. Going with it, I was 3 when the first season was out. I actually remember watching some of those episodes. So Power Rangers was my thing until I was about 10. So I just loved it. Um, Now it's hard because sometimes I'll just group it all together because Mighty Morphin, even though there were 3 different seasons, it was all one big thing. Um, but to do it separately is so hard for me. Like especially because what's my favorite? It's not even a whole complete season. For me, my favorite is the first half of season 2. Um, oh man, I love that we got to kind of expand on the original 6, and then we got the new stunt coordinators. So we had really cool fight scenes, both unmorphed and in costume. We had the new Zords. We had the new villain with Lord Zed, and he was scary. And I loved that. And then what makes me feel weird about saying that is then when you look at the changes that they made in the second season. Um, Nothing. I have no problems with the cast. I have problems with the actual season. The second half of season 2, it had a bunch of two-parters that weren't very good. There was a lot of filler, and they were kind of once
That's
again
an
trying to
understatement.
figure yeah, and they were trying to figure out what the show was again because of the big changes. And then I think there were people were complaining about how scary Zed was, so they had to change him.
What?
And it got really like just messy for that second half. So it's like for me, my favorite part of MMPR would be the first half of the second season. Um, Season 1 was
Hmm.
a lot of fun. However, there was a lot of filler. They had a couple of arcs in there. The Spring with Evil, the Green Candle, and then I think like that two-parter for Doomsday. I think that was it for like arcs, and then everything else was pretty much like filler. Then they had those 20 episodes that they did after the show got really popular, and they had Tommy come back in that, and I love that two-parter. That was a lot of fun. But
Shoot
that
to
that
footage.
yes, that stuff was awesome. And I think they started having Jeff Pruitt as the stunt coordinator at that point. Because like the fight scenes look the same as season 2 and 4. So then like I'm like, oh, should I choose season 1? But like I said, there's a lot of filler, and it's just like really nostalgia that makes me want to, choose that one. And then season 3 was the season where it seemed like they were putting effort into the writing. And that's obviously something as an adult that I appreciate more. But then things were so different than the original season. So it's like it's so hard for me to rank it. I'll rank it at the end, but for me, like that's what makes it so hard to like come up with.
Well, to be truthfully honest, it's not that hard for me. It's not that hard for me.
We know why.
To be truthfully honest, okay, young Brandon was just excited just to see superheroes, like actual like quote unquote teenagers, because they were not teenagers, but quote unquote teenagers, who were supposed to be young people, fighting monsters in color coded like cool outfits and using weapons and being badass. That was just like that was my jush, like that was my thing. So looking at it from that standpoint, I enjoyed it. I really liked it. On all 3 seasons, it was just like, oh yes, yes. And now, as far as the fight choreography, especially when you bring in the American footage, it definitely got better. Well, to be honest, the best that it was season 2. That was like the best that the fight choreography was in Mighty Morphin season 3. I mean, it's not season 3. Mighty Morphin season 1, 2, and 3. Season 2 had the best choreography, hands down. But other than that, as far as story, the adult Brandon, when he goes back and watches and rewatches these episodes, he just face palms and literally critiques and breaks down these episodes and scrutinizes these episodes and shows no mercy.
I think that's what makes
Because
it fun now.
but that's the thing, and it kind of makes me make me appreciate it a little more, for the simple fact that I do also recognize that this is a literally like almost kind of like a period piece in a sense, where it's like this is the first of its kind. Like literally, they had no idea what they were doing. It was obvious, and it was just like this is just them. This is just being fun, and that's what kind of makes it. It makes it enjoyable in that sense. Um, as far as and plus, just I have to say the actual Japanese footage. Can we just agree the Japanese footage in season 1 and a little bit of season 2? That footage, the Japanese people are freaking genius when it comes to fight choreography and just the way they film stuff, the Zord fights, all that stuff is iconic. Like Ranger was like the perfect way to start off the franchise. I mean, everything is so iconic. The suits are iconic, the Zords are iconic. Just everything about it just screams this is perfect.
Yeah.
So with all that being said, um, season 1, I sometimes I'm a little more harsher on season 1 due to the fact that it's like my own feeling towards it. but based off of what other people are saying about it, if that makes any sense. I feel like a lot of times, a lot of fans and a lot of people when they're conversing about those seasons, I feel like a lot of times they're misremembering things and giving a little bit too much credit where credit is not due. Well, no, like just for example, like saying that they had excellent storyline. There was literally hardly no storyline in Mighty Morphin season one. Like, how
Thank
could you
you.
say that there's storyline in season
All
one?
they remember is
There's
Sam.
not.
But I think the best episodes do have a great storyline in season one. I think that's what they remember.
Right. They remember stuff like Green with Evil.
Right.
They remember that. They remember Green Candle. They remember that. But those are the only times that the show actually had a storyline, and the show literally ran for 62 episodes. So you mean to tell me for like max maybe 7 episodes, it's like, oh yeah, this show had a storyline. It didn't. It really did not. It did not. This show literally it was extremely episodic. Um and for people and that's where I feel like the nostalgia stuff kind of like creeps in and just kind of like warps people's memory of it in a sense. Um, but if you
Sure.
actually sit back and actually look at it, it's like this show is literally it's just going day by day. Like, oh, this is the day in the life of the Rangers. That's it.
Right.
Come and follow us on our adventures. That's that's really it. Um, I didn't feel like there was really anything going for it until for me season two. And plus, like, I'm not gonna lie, we were like when we did our poll, who was your favorite team
Trio.
team Angel Grove or Team Stone Canyon. I had to choose Team Stone Canyon because I felt like honestly the show got better when Aisha, Adam, and Rocky came. I personally felt like it got better. I mean, I don't know. Like they had better storylines, quote unquote, if you want to use that term, in season one. But I just felt like the episodes themselves were a lot more fun in season two. Um, I don't know. I just felt like even though like they had a whole bunch of just multi-parters that were just completely just ridiculous, like them going back to the colonial age. I'm like, first of all, Aisha would have been arrested and killed. Um,
That's one of my favorite episodes.
are you serious?
They should have touched on that. They should have had Aisha deal with racism. I guess that would have been too much.
I agree. I agree.
They could've somehow.
It would have been it would have been too much for a kid show, but it's just like what we know. We obviously know that that would have been flying. You know what I'm saying? Like, first of all, they all would have been probably burned at the stake because they just randomly appeared out of nowhere with these clothes on that nobody is wearing, like witches. That's number one. Number two, Aisha is not working in anybody's house or picking anybody's cotton. That's number two. Like, it's just so much. It's like, no. Like, this is not it. This is not it. But stuff like that, even when you look past it though, it's one of the episodes that it was just like, as crazy and wild and wacky as this is, it still had one of the most best fight scenes in its three-parter, which is for me that part where they all fought Unmore when they
Mhm.
had to go rescue Tommy. That is one of my favorite fight scenes out of just Mighty
I,
Morphin in general. Like, all six of them look badass, especially Johnny. Like, Johnny
the
literally
butterfly
fought for like
twist. That
3 seconds and kicked the
was
most ass in 3 seconds. I'm like, how did this dude do this? Like, he is like a freaking beast. Like, oh my god. So, season three, not much you can say about season three.
Real.
For me, not much. But season three had the major change. It just, for me, I just didn't care for season three at all.
Wow.
I personally, I really didn't care for it.
That's a different take.
Um,
I've never heard that before.
you say what?
That's a different take. I've never heard that before.
Yeah, I just, personally, I never cared for season three like that. Some of the stuff was cute. Like the Rainbow Ku Klux Klan members. I thought that was cute. I thought that I thought that Ninja was funny. I love Ninja.
Mhm.
But other than that, as far as like this, I like that they told more cohesive stories. Like the stories felt a little more aged, and they were actually dealing with more sensitive topics, like Kimberly and her parents' divorce, um, Kimberly and her wanting to go compete with the Pan Globals, Kimberly and you see there's a pattern here, right? A lot of Kimberly. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I like that they were doing that. But as a whole, it was just kind of like this just basically went from being the Tommy show to the Kimberly show.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just like, all right,
Who's
yeah,
the
cool.
strongest actor on there? That
Yeah.
was a thank you. I don't know.
I mean,
They
which they've already expressed that they were like, the reason why they were doing that is because they already knew they were going to write her out. So that was like their way of like writing the character out from the very beginning. So it was just like, well, let's just try to like wean her out slowly, like having her forget her communicator or having her get attacked so much, and it's just like, okay, all right, we get it. But I don't know, like for me, it was just like this is a little excessive, especially when apparently they promised the same thing to Karen Ashley, and we only got Stop the Hate Master for her, and
love
then
that.
all of a sudden the next time that you got something from her is her walking up on the viewing globe to Shala, saying goodbye.
That was messed up. That was so messed up.
So it's like y'all kind of just basically just gave Amy Jo everything, which I'm not hating on Amy Jo for that. I mean, she kind of deserved it. It's like she's been there since the very beginning. But it's also kind of like, dag, y'all just shafted the black girl. Like, I think that's where like my issue with season three came in, because like season three, I just didn't care for it like that, because I just felt like they really did my girl Aisha wrong, and Aisha was my favorite. She was my favorite of Mighty Morphin, so it's just like, dag, like y'all gonna do her wrong like that? Like, really? So that's where I feel about it. Anybody else want to jump in?
So I don't know seasons because they all kind of like mushed to one together. But what I can tell you is based on characters. I really liked, like overall, like obviously season one was the original six, right? But I definitely liked it a lot more when obviously they had the story with Tommy and how he's evil and all that great fun stuff. But I loved it more when they transferred the power to the next three: Adam, Rocky, and Aisha. Mostly because I love Adam. So when I came along, I really enjoyed it. And then I think for
Yeah,
my.
we know.
Mm-hmm. um, I really liked it too when, like I said, I don't know seasons, but because they all mush into one big thing for me. Even watching it back now, like I can't really do it because it's kind of painful and very cringy. I've tried, haven't succeeded, but this is young Lena here. So like it got to a point where when Tommy came back, I really liked that as the White Ranger, because way back then I really liked Tommy. I really liked how they did that, and it was kind of nice at how they developed such a big. It was one of the first, obviously, and only ever relationship that we saw went anywhere, for the Power Rangers. But that was really nice. But then I think they kind of lost me after Kimberly left, and when Catherine came, I didn't really care because it became the whole Tommy show and Tommy and Cat, and I was like, well, not really interested. So that would be it for me as both young and older Lena because watching, like I said, watching it back now, it's like very cringy. So I don't know seasons. So those would be my rating of it when we get back, when we actually get to it. I don't. Yeah, actually, what season belongs to what that I just mentioned?
For what you just mentioned, it sounded like you went in order 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, okay. Well, there we go. Oh, I mostly just based it on the characters. Everything else is like me.
That cheesiness is it. Even though it is absolutely cringeworthy, and I'd be embarrassed to show certain people it,
I would never
I
show
just
anybody.
I love it so much. That's exactly like how I felt when I had watched it for the first time in years when I was
Like,
like 19.
no,
I'm like, oh my god,
as a
this is
kid, I
awesome.
loved it. Loved it so
But
much.
then I kept watching and it's like, oh my god, this makes me feel like I'm 3 again. So I just kind of like ignored the
Oh,
bad
wait,
act.
it definitely did not do that for me. It made me realize all the flaws in it, and if
Oh,
anything, it kind of got me to like not like it. So I had to stop because I was like, no, 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 no,
yeah.
like no, because it wasn't as bad as a kid. It can't be this bad out as an adult. Maybe I'm just too sober for this.
You know what? I will say that. I will say low key, low key. Now,
You know?
we are not indulging drugs on this show. However, I will say one night, me and my roommate were binge watching episodes of Mighty Morphin on Netflix, and we were smoking.
Oh.
And let's just say
Mm.
it was interesting. It was we enjoyed that show much more than we should have. I feel.
Well, fun fact,
We were
Kimberly was high
invested
in
in
one of the
it.
Megasaur. She was high in one of the Megasaur scenes. She like
Oh
released.
yeah, that's
Remember?
funny.
She was like, I was high, and they told me I had to do this and that, and I went, what now? Like I'm just trying to picture Amy Jo being high while trying to operate a fake Megasaur.
I heard she told that story and I was like shocked.
I was really shocked. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, my hero does drugs?
That is
No.
not
Amen.
I
And
think
it
I'm
is
gonna try that
blessed.
now.
Oh, you should. It's amazing. It's amazing. Like it makes you enjoy the show 10 times more. I promise.
Oh yeah.
Once again, we are not indulging.
No.
We are not
No, I
endorsing
was definitely
doing drugs.
I have to say that I saw Power Rangers from like the first day, like the day it debuted, and I was a fan immediately. I loved every single thing they ever did, every episode up until around Turbo, where I started to lose interest. And but I was gonna say that the first season was my favorite, and then I kind of remembered the second season a little bit more. But I still prefer certain things about the first season. I think I I don't want to say it. I don't want to talk bad about anybody. But,
Say it. We must
uh,
know.
I
Say
think
it.
I
Say
think
it.
the
This is a
first
safe space.
cast, the original cast, were better actors than the replacements. Mostly, I'll go with Steve. I love Steve, but yeah, it was a reason why they kind of pushed him in the back. uh, he's a great guy, but I don't know. You guys were saying like it was a lot of filler episodes in the first season, and it's crazy that like they had 60 episodes. That's way too many.
Right? Yo, that was me when I attempted to rewatch. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do this. We're gonna do this. 60, what now? Lord.
Because it was on like every day, at least where I live. Like, it was on
Yeah.
5 days.
Yeah, it was on every day. I loved it. I run home from school. Was it 4 o'clock? Was it 4 o'clock for your time too? I know it was 4
I
o'clock
don't
my
remember.
time.
It
I
might
feel
have been 5 o'clock here.
Yeah, I think it's
I,
only 5 here.
I don't remember. I have to say, I don't remember it being on weekends. I just
No,
remember it
not the
being on
weekends.
weekdays. Unless I just didn't know for like 4 years until like Power Rangers in Space came on weekends.
I remember the third season started to come on Saturdays. I don't remember why, but it was just like Fox Saturday morning show.
Yeah, at some point you're right. At some point I switched over, and I don't remember when, but it was on every single day. But they did tell us though that the show was on every single day though too. So they did confirm our little imagination. Like we're not going crazy as kids. We knew. Yeah, that's a good point. Actually, when did they switch over to the weekend?
Probably
I
the third
thought they were
season.
always on. I thought
I
they
re-
always did on the weekends because I remember actually watching it on Saturday mornings.
Well, obviously you weren't blessed enough, Brandon.
That must be it because I remember watching it on Saturday mornings and I remember watching it in the afternoons after school because it was like what they would show is they would show the reruns Monday through Friday, and then on Saturdays it would be a brand new episode, or it would be brand new episodes Monday through Friday, and they would show like a old episode on Saturday.
I do not remember that. Like I remember
Maybe
the
I'm
first.
misremembering.
I think the first time that I remember it being on a Saturday was the Zio premiere, because I remember that vividly, and I remember waking up that morning to watch it. But then after that, I just remember watching it after school every day after that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, everybody, if you're listening, if you can tell us when you remember this show actually coming on Saturdays, that would be helpful. Thank you. Uh, but no. Is there anything else, Luis, that you wanna say or?
You guys probably already
Season
said most
three?
of it.
You didn't
Probably,
mention season three.
I kind of didn't like season 3 either. I mean, I liked it when I was a kid, but when I watch it now, it's like I really don't care about Tommy. Um, and then I kind of didn't like. I appreciate what Catherine was now, but as a kid, I didn't like it.
Yeah. I can
Me
Same.
totally
either.
agree with you
Me
there.
either.
Oh my god, I agree with you there 100%.
I
Did
was
not
like, this
like her.
fuzzy.
Mm.
No, I didn't even remember I didn't remember her origin until I watched it later. I thought she just showed up and could turn into. I thought Rita made her. I thought
Well,
she
you
made
know,
this girl that could change into a cat and a monster.
I have like a legit question. I have a legit question. If you guys remember this or know this, did she not have the ability to morph into a cat whenever she wanted to? What happened?
No,
No,
I
she
think
could.
I think she could when she was evil.
Yeah, when she
Oh,
was
okay.
evil,
So
she
when
could.
she,
Yeah.
oh, okay. So I was gonna ask, like, what happened to her powers after? Like, I wish I could morph into a cat.
it's
Shit.
just the spell that Rita had her under.
They were
Mm.
always more powerful when they were evil. Look at Tommy.
Right.
Yeah,
Facts.
See,
everybody.
I guess this is where like Lord Dragon comes in and goes. They could have been gods.
Oh,
Which is something that I just never understood. It's like, and this is, I guess, something just that's just something that is for drama purposes. But when they're evil, like they kick so much more ass and they just don't
Mm-hmm.
care.
They're
But when they're
Mm-hmm.
good, it's
funnier
like,
too.
yeah, and it's like when they're good, it's like, oh, I have to struggle. I have to try so hard. I have to have all this honor and I have to fight things fairly. No, the hell you don't.
You know, we never got an evil Aisha. Everyone's turned evil except for Aisha.
This is true.
Oh my
This is
She would
god.
true.
have been really funny.
Aisha and her
Yo,
sass. Oh my god. I would love that.
Aisha would have been so good. Oh my god. I would have gagged. I would have gagged. I would have loved it. And like, there would have been a whole bunch of sass coming in there. That's probably why they
Mm.
turned her evil. Because she would have been way too sassy.
Way too sassy.
And they would have been like, let's tone this down. Let's tone
Well,
this down a little bit.
she was kind of the most sassy she ever got is when like one of her first episodes when she was fire safety captain, and she was just out of control. I remember Billy side eyeing her like, "What are you doing? Like, you're not the
Yeah.
leader."
Yo, that is like one of my favorite episodes. Like, it's
She was
kind of
like,
cringy in a
"Yeah,"
sense.
she was like, "I'm the fire safety captain, so I know how to take care of this." Like, no, it's a monster. What are you doing?
Right. Let me go fight. It's my responsibility. Like, girl, what? Like, you was literally a ranger for like 2 days.
Yeah.
Chill out. Like, what are you doing?
I think I had that on VHS too.
Oh my gosh, did it come with like a fire safety like chromo with along
I
with
think
it as
it
well?
did. It probably did.
That'd be hilarious if it did. But like, speaking of just like Lena, you mentioned character. I have to be honest. Like, and we've talked about it like privately, I guess, amongst each other. Um, but when it just comes down to just characters in general, um, I don't know. Like, for me, the characters of Mighty Morphin, the only ones who actually got really any development out of all 3 seasons
Kimberly.
was Tommy, Billy, and Kimberly.
Yeah, it's true.
They were literally the only ones that actually got
They were there the
developed.
longest.
Because they were there the longest. That's the reason why they got the most development.
But it did take them
and
a long time, though. Like a really long time.
yeah. That's the thing. It's like they've been there for a long time, and of course the show was episodic, so of course it would make sense. But I also kind of feel like as well, like even from the original series, like it's coming from the first the original 5 before Tommy even joined, it was kind of like you could already kind of see the seeds planted of like Billy and Kimberly, because there was a lot of Billy and Kimberly episodes, like
There
with them
was.
switching, switching personalities
Yep.
and them becoming, it's just like, why is there so much? And then there's a lot of Kimberly stuff. There's a lot of Billy stuff. It was just like these two are just really getting a lot of focus. And then when Tommy comes, obviously the whole story there.
He
And
was just a Sixth Ranger for a while.
He was what?
he was what?
He was just your prototype for a Sixth Ranger for a while when he first came in. Forgetting his
Which is fine.
stuff
Well,
and
no. You can't really say that. You can't really say that. Tommy
No.
was literally a full developed character
Yep.
during his time as the Green Ranger. Like he literally was a
Serious.
character. Like he had
Mhm.
more character in his short time of the Green Ranger than he's had in any form that he's ever been in.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
But I guess
he was like the most developed as the Green Ranger.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like, I mean,
in such a short period
this
of
dude
time
has
too.
so many flaws and so many. You say what?
In such a short period of time too, like really short period of time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like he just had so many flaws and just so many things that that worked well for his character.
That's
I
where
just
it
feel
stopped.
like yeah,
So he
literally
became the
it
White
stopped
Ranger.
like
It was just
Tommy
he was
left.
invincible.
It
As a
literally,
human and a
literally.
ranger.
Yeah. Like he just became like he went from being a normal teenager to being their commando. It was just like I am perfect. I am God King
I
Tommy.
think it would have been
And
interesting if Jason didn't leave and they didn't write that into the show. Like maybe would it still have been a little more balanced. He still would have been like more of a Sixth Ranger.
yeah, right. I agree. I think that.
Sometimes
Go ahead.
Going with that, that makes me think about how the movie would have been if the original six were in it. That movie didn't give the characters didn't really get like any sort of, oh my god, they were just there. All of them were just there, and Tommy got to speak the most. And so I guess that would have been Jason, and then we still would have had the Tommy and Kimberly parts, but it would have been different. Like Jason definitely would have been at the forefront. But so another thing is, for Jason, that's crazy that being the leader, he didn't get a ton of like focus. He was just the leader, and just by default, he's the leader. He makes like he leads. He tells people what to do. He'll have like a solo battle. He'll have a lot of solo battles, but just as far as who Jason is as a teenager, we never really got into, even as I just brains like I just my God,
I think he had a good amount in the first season, but I think because Zoo Ranger was, I don't think they knew how to write that character into that show, and so they just kind of
Agreed.
focused on everybody else. Because like his character was more important in that show, because him and the Green Ranger had this whole relationship because they were brothers.
But they didn't set it up well at all, because it was like literally the only time that you actually got any real like Jason stuff was when that whole relationship happened. But by that point, it's like if you're looking at it from a character point, it's like, well, who the heck is he?
And now it's the opposite. It's like all the seasons are about the Red Rangers.
Right.
Man, like for me, I remember one thing that I really remember about Jason was his temper. And that's something that they didn't play into that enough at all. I'll always remember missing Green when he was still broken up over the fact that he couldn't save Tommy's powers, and then I think the Rangers had been kidnapped or something like that, and then Jason's in command center looking at the viewing globe, and he's pissed, like he's like so mad, and then Zordon has to tell him to come and stand in front of him and like calm him down. But like I think it would have been so cool if they would have played on him having a temper.
Or like I really just like it when they basically just made him the leader once he became the White Ranger. That part, I was like, I'm done. I'm over this shit.
Yeah, that was dubbed in later. Like that actually wasn't in the original script.
Really?
Yeah, because they didn't even know they were leaving the show yet, or they were being fired anyway.
If you remember, if you watch the episode back, you'll see that Jason does the first morph call, I believe.
He does
I
what
think
now?
he did, or did
I don't
Tommy do
remember.
on that episode? I know that there was an episode where Tommy was the White Ranger and Jason still did the morph call. So I think that you know, like you just said, that was like an indication that was not always the plan to have Jason go over.
I mean, because it
Tommy
didn't
took over.
really make any sense anyway. It's like, why would you just make him the leader out of nowhere?
Right. And there was no explanation. And then the fact that like there's no okay, like regardless that they were leaving, like I get that, right? But like even then that was like before the announcement that they were gonna leave, because this happened way before they were gonna leave. And just how like he announced it and Jason just like stood there all happy that like his friend is back. Like I remember watching that episode being so cringy, but I'm like, nah.
And that is exactly why he was reacting like that, because in the script it probably was like, "Oh, your friend's back, you're happy," and then when they left, they rewrote it as, "Oh, he's happy that his friend is taking his spot."
Is
I
that
was
how they rewrote it? Because I felt like that was much later on, wasn't it?
no, it
Well,
just hadn't
you have
aired
to
yet.
Sorry?
yeah, you have to think about It hadn't aired yet. You have to think about like the production. So by the time season 2 debuted, I remember it debuted in prime time in the summer. By the time that happened, they were gone. The original, I believe the original 3 that left were gone by that point, and then they were scrambling trying to figure things out, and then by like October, they had found the replacements and they had sent them to Australia.
For the
And I
movie.
think for the movie, yeah, a lot of things were done far in advance.
Yeah. Like when I watch it now, I watched that season and in my head, Kimberly and Billy were the leaders, and they just let Tommy think that he was the leader. It's always funny too because you could tell like they kind of wanted Rocky to replace um, Jason, but it's like it just never worked.
Nope. He didn't have that leadership. He just didn't possess the skill to carry on the team that was already around long before he was.
Yeah.
Like he was too goofy. He wasn't focused enough. He was all over the place. I mean, his main focus was all about the ladies, and that was it.
Rocky just wants to have fun.
Right? I feel like we've said that before.
But you know what though, I in a way I kind of I like Rocky. I like Rocky when he came. I think I was like in the very small group of people that actually liked him. I enjoyed his character. I thought that his character was just it was just the like he was kind of like the quirky kind of like fun guy of the
Yeah.
team. Like he was kind of like the Zach of the team, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, but I feel like Zach had a different vibe. He was more smooth about it. Like he was just
Right.
like obviously none of us ever really know what we're doing, but like he carries on like he with such confidence that you would never question his ability as to what he's up to and what he's doing. With Rocky, where he does one thing, you're like, Rocky, why are you over there? Get yourself up.
Unless it was Angela, then he was like literally falling all over the place and was all thumbs. Which I never
Yeah.
understood. That whole thing was toxic.
Yeah, that was very. And yeah, I never understood that. What?
But Zach possessed more leadership skills than
Stand
any other
Angela.
replacements.
Yeah.
Oh, I couldn't stand her. Oh, I couldn't stand that girl. I couldn't stand her. I'm like, why are you giving this boy a hard time like that? Like, what?
It kind of reminds me of the Gia Jake relationship now that we think about it.
I can see that.
Right? Like
I can see that.
obviously
I
they were
didn't like
on
that relationship either.
right?
But I can see that.
Right? Like obviously they were on different levels because Jake and Gia were both Rangers and
And
like
Jake was more creepier.
yeah. Well, maybe Zach was creepy, but they just never like, played it out that way.
Now Zach was like you could tell he was more flirtatious and more like trying to play it cool, trying to be Mr. Smooth dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like doing his little body rolls and his Michael Jackson spins, trying to impress Angela, and and Jake. All he was doing was kind of like just being like a peeping tom, almost in a sense, like trying to be a creeper. And it's just like, dude, like what are you doing? Like how's this supposed to be like a turn on or trying to be sexy? Like this is not it.
No, he really was.
Two different approaches. They both got the girl, but that says a lot about how we think that guys should be flirting with girls.
That wasn't a good example of the stuff that Jake was doing, and then he got her at the end being a freaking creeper.
Basically. But
maybe that's what she likes. Maybe she likes creepy, peaky toms.
Maybe.
God.
Maybe that was her type all along. She just wants to make sure he passed the test.
Okay, that's kind of weird.
Well, we didn't know.
That, like her character was supposed to be all like the badass like popular girl, and she's into creepy dudes. Like,
hey,
okay, girl.
We don't know what happens behind closed doors.
This is true.
You know.
This is true.
We don't really know people the way we should know people.
I mean, hell, they didn't give us a chance to.
Right?
No, that poor girl. Never even
Shit.
got a episode.
Never. She never got one episode dedicated to her.
Nope.
Not one.
Wow. Even what's her name? What's the pink one's name in her season? Emma? Even she got an episode dedicated to her. It wasn't a very good one, but she got one.
Oh, she got several.
Did she really?
Got several episodes. Yes, she got one. The one of the episodes she got to sing. She basically got stuck to the ground and was growing roots out of her butt. Like, I mean, she got a whole bunch of stuff going on with her.
You know what? To be
and
fair,
they did nothing.
To be fair,
you would have thought that just the way the world is, you would have thought that the white blonde would have gotten the episodes.
True. But also to be fair though, because they never changed their damn outfits, I always got all the episodes confused. Because let's be realistic here. The season itself was not a very interesting season. So not only did they not have an engaging season, but they didn't change their outfits. So now I'm thinking it's all one big blur, like one big day of a blur. So yeah. So to be fair, I literally thought it was one big episode. But hey, I just remember the singing one. Like that was the episode I remember her most in because I thought that's terrible song.
Weird.
Was it like?
It was just bizarre,
right?
That whole time period was super bizarre for the show. I had to take a break at that point. I just couldn't do it.
I obviously watched through the whole thing, but can't remember for the life of me the entire season.
You have any idea what we're talking about, Louis?
I watched that whole season too, and I don't remember anything about it.
Damn! I have a friend. Yeah.
Oh my god!
It's just like after coming from Samurai, and you giving me the same stuff. Or actually, even
literally
less.
the same names.
Yeah.
Even do it.
They even did the whole same opening too.
Gia.
Yeah. Jake.
Noah. Jake. Emma. I was like, what? Oh my god. What is this? The Mickey Mouse Club? Like, what is happening?
Oh my god.
They were really trying to make a live action cartoon. That's why they never changed outfits.
Yeah. And that wasn't the first.
Well, another self promo. Like when we did an interview with John Mark, he even said to that variations that they didn't want to confuse the kids, is why they gave them the same outfits.
That's so dumb.
And we were like,
so stupid.
Like what? Okay, all right.
That's always been the reason why they wear their colors. It's like, yeah, okay.
Literally.
Right? So you can't blame us if we can't remember anything because it was one big blur. One outfit.
One outfit.
For I don't even know how many.
I have to say, they did kind of try to do some variation with John Mark. They took away his blazer.
Oh yeah.
He didn't have the blazer anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I remember
that was a continuity
like
error.
Yeah.
But you know what though? I have a question. Did those morphers just magically appear?
Or did they carry it?
Did they hide them? Because where the heck could they hide them? There's no way.
Okay, from what I understood, they pulled it from the behind. Every time they went to morph, they would pull it out, did the whole... So somewhere back there, they have a fanny pack.
That's what I'm thinking. Yo, that would have... No, think about it, though. Think about it. That would have been tight. If they would have been walking around with fanny packs?
Wondering what the hell is back there.
Oh, I'm dying.
You have to admit, they should have brought the fanny packs back. Yo.
I'm dying. Oh.
That would have been dope. You gotta admit, that would have been hot.
I don't. Well, how would they look though? Would it be like?
They could be all black. They could be all black. You know what I'm saying? They could, they could just wrap them around, have the, have them sitting off to the side, or you know what I'm saying? They could even like they can do like different variations depending on the actual ranger. You know what I'm saying? Depending on that ranger and their flavor.
Ooh,
Like
yeah.
Noah could have his sitting on his hip. Gia could have hers resting on her butt. You know what I'm saying? Like then it could have been all different. You feel me? And then like when it was time to morph, they all just reach for it in different ways.
Where did they get those random cards that they keep pulling out to morph? Where are they holding those?
Well, yeah. I can't answer that. I don't know.
We have
I guess
questions
they're
here,
like a
Megan
part
Force.
of the morpher somewhere. Like, are they stuck in like the back of the morpher or something? Like, they pull them out like Yu-Gi-Oh cards,
right? And I remember like
Swear.
and then when they were switching like oh yeah, that's right. I remember when they were switching like different like rangers too. Like, where do you have all the store? Shit.
It's a morphing grid. The morphing grid just spits it out.
Randomly, the card.
Yes.
Okay, but then where does it go when like they push it into the big mouth of the morph? Wow, I can't even speak right now.
Morpher?
morpher.
Yes. Oh my God, I'm done.
Yeah, it goes in the morpher, and then you can't see it anymore because the morphing grid takes it back.
So once they transform, the card, I guess goes away once they use it.
A wizard did it.
Yeah, see that.
Well, Zordon is his mentor.
That would have worked.
You can't say that without like showing. That's one time where, because they love to do this thing where they show us stuff over and over again because they think that kids don't remember anything. But that would have been a time to actually show it, like him. How the hell does a tiki head have a mentor? I don't know.
Well, apparently this tiki head was there's tiki heads wherever Gosei is from. I don't know. Maybe they're like a race of tikis or something.
And how did they get to that wall? I want to know.
Maybe he was banished to on a wall by dad.
If any,
or maybe what had happened was he was asleep during Countdown of Destruction, and Zordon was like, "For punishment, I'm gonna stick you to this wall because you ain't came to help me when I got kidnapped."
Dad.
So now you're gonna be stuck in this wall with this dumb behind little robot called Tenso.
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask you what his stupid name was too. Oh, I'm dead.
Wally. You're gonna be stuck with him for all eternity.
Oh,
because you ain't helped me with your punk ass.
Oh my God, Megan Force, we have questions. Oh.
I don't know. Wait a minute. How did we even get on that? Like, wait. How did
they get on that?
They're wearing the same costumes over and over.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say, how did we get? Oh my God.
See, y'all have to listen to this episode when you guys are a little bit high. Just saying.
Right.
Oh.
Yes.
Now
we're promoting it.
Now we're promoting because hello, we're in quarantine here. Nobody's gonna find you. The cops are not gonna get you.
Well, depending on where you are, it's legal. So if you're in Los Angeles or California, you can cheap out as much as you want.
Yeah, it's actually legal in Toronto now too. So
hey now.
There we go. So there you go, guys. Definitely get high before you listen to this episode.
I'm here for it all the time. But are we gonna rank these? Let's go down the list and let's rank which seasons.
I'll go first since mine is so easy. Season 1, 2, and 3. Done.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Fair enough. Anybody else?
Damn it. Damn.
You need a little bit of time? You need a little time.
I want to
Cause it
say
sounds like you struggling over here. Like you, you need me to go. You need me and Louise to go before you so you can kind of get yourself together.
season 2, season 1, season 3.
Okay,
Okay.
Okay.
Louise.
Season 2, season 1, Alien Rangers, season 3,
Oh, you separated the Alien Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
and they're part of season
Okay,
3.
you know what? I didn't even talk about them. I don't want to talk about them. Okay. I don't even want to talk about them.
That's a whole
Um,
nother episode.
Right.
that's
That is
right. That's
seriously a whole new episode.
ooh, ow.
I got
Um,
feels.
oh man. I guess for me it would be season 2. Um, season 1. I guess if we're going to separate Alien Rangers, Alien Rangers, and then